So that brings me to ask you why God will never save you.
because there's nothing to save you from. In order to be saved, you have to be saved from something. What is there to save you from? You're not.
Myself.
You don't have to be saved from yourself because the person that you think you are is not who you are. So the idea of having to be saved from myself is an illusion. Now you can say, well, I need to be saved from the identification that I have created about myself. But God cannot save me because there's nothing to save me from. It's like trying to find something that's not lost. You can assume it's lost and you can go about looking for it, but it's not lost in the first place. So to assume that you need salvation would mean that you're in a certain state of non-salvation, where you've never been separated from God. Never, ever. The only place you've ever been separated from God is in your own feeling and reacting to this existence. That's the only place, and that's an illusion. Once you come into the knowledge of yourself, you will discover that you're like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. You've always been home. There's nowhere to go.
That's simple.
All of this stuff is simple. It's not complicated. It's believed to be complicated. And since you're creative, if you believe it to be complicated, then it becomes complicated.
But then again, we're the one that's creating
You're
this.
creating it. You're using creative God power to create your own illusion. And your illusion is real to you, to I. Why? Because we have creative power. But the minute you turn from your evil and wicked ways, which is the belief in evil and separation and hatred and all the low vibrationary frequency, you'll heal. It's simple. It's always been simple. It's intentionally been made complicated by wiser people. But the wiser people don't have a problem using God power. They don't struggle with God power. The ignorant, and I shouldn't use the word ignorant, those that are not aware struggle with
In a sense that is being ignorant.
it. It is, but I don't want to say it.
No, I hear you. So where is God? I'm trying to find him. Where is he?
Well, you can't find that which is not lost. And the second part of that would be, where is God not? You say, where is God? Or where God isn't. Name me a place where God does not exist.
Is God at the clubs?
Absolutely. God is the one doing the killing.
God is the one doing
God
the
is the one
killing?
doing the killing. God is the one creating nuclear weapons and biological warfare and all oppression, slavery, racism, and bigotry. God is, yes, I said it. God is the one that's creating that. God is creating that. The power of God is creating that. Why do you say that? Because without God power, it cannot happen. Where's the power going to come from to create these experiences? And what power is creating these experiences? If there's another power besides God, then God is not supreme. God is not superior. God is not absolute. So all of the lower vibrationary experiences, ideas, thoughts, feelings, and reactions that are being created and experienced is God power used in an adverse way.
So let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly, because I feel like a lot of people that is watching that is
Right.
going to be like, what? I can't believe he said that.
Right.
So it comes back to God will give you either the vision, the desire, whatever it is that you want to call it. But ultimately, it comes down to what you do with that knowledge. Is that correct?
It's important to understand that all of it is God. The thought, the feeling, the experience, the reaction, the interaction, it's all God. God is the director, the producer, the play, the stage, the script. What do you call the people that critique movies? The, what do they call these people? Help me out here. The critics.
Critics.
God is also the critic. So when you see a production, think about all the things that go into a production to make that production happen. All of those parts, all of those characters, all of those entities that interact in that is God. That's all is here. Energy, infinite energy, known as God, infinite supreme energy that we call God, playing itself out in an infinite, unlimited number of ways. And since we are that energy and a participant, we have the power and ability to move that energy to shape it to whatever experience we choose. But we don't have the knowledge that we have that power. And if we're told that we have that power and ability, in most cases, we deny it. But we're still creating whether we accept it or not.
That will never change. What I'm
You
picking
can't
up from.
separate yourself from the infinite. There's no, where are you going? I mean, if you separated yourself from God, where are you going? In order to be able to go somewhere else other than God's world, you're saying that something exists beyond the infinite. Even if you take evil into consideration and you take the devil and the Satan into consideration, where did he come from? It created itself from an alternate reality? Well, if it created itself from an alternate reality separate from God, then God is not sovereign. If God is sovereign in all that there is, then nothing can exist outside of God, what we call evil. It's still derived from within the infinite power of God.
So I've always heard money is evil. Do you agree with that statement?
No. No, money is not evil. How could it be? Is water evil? Is sex evil? Diamonds in the earth evil? Is the ocean evil? Money is an energy. It is the expressive power and will of God that allows man to do things and have certain experiences. It's an energy. It's not paper. It's not cattle. It's not slaves. It's not coins. It's an energy. These things are the expressions and by which we use and express it and symbolize it. But the essence of money is energy. It's an exchange. That's all it is. Everything is energy interacting with energy. But it's endless, beyond the human reasoning mind, how many variations and expressions of this energy exist. Because many we're not even aware exist. And money is one of those energies. Before there was money, man was interacting. There was an interaction. There was a way that we exchange goods and services. That's all you're talking about. It's an exchange of goods and services. The modern man has now moved from goats to cattle to seashells to coins to paper money. Now it's digital. It'll be something else. But the basis of money is consciousness.
Speaking of money, is there anything I can do to bring more money into my life? Please help me solve this.
So now we're on to money now, right?
Yeah.
You want more money in your experience.
Yeah. How can I achieve that experience?
Experience having more money
More money.
in your experience.
Yeah.
Why do you want more money?
Why not?
Okay, but it's not an answer.
Money does not solve everything,
Right.
but it sure helps to take care of a lot of things.
But
So
why?
that's where I want it.
Okay, so you want money specifically for what purpose? You don't have to go into great detail, but
I believe having more money will allow me to experience a better life here on earth.
so this thing called energy, money,
Money.
because money is the energy we're speaking of.
Mhm.
This energetic entity of money would allow you to have great experiences, right?
That's what I believe. Yes.
Okay, so the essence of all reality is what?
Oh,
God,
right.
the infinite. If you want to call it God, that's fine. I mean, we can call it because we don't really know what it is, so we have a lot of names and terminologies for it. But for the sake of this conversation, when I say God, I'm talking about the infinite source of all creation. This infinite,
The one and only.
one intelligent, supreme energy source of creation, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so where would this money come from then? This energetic entity of money, what would be its origin? We're talking about money, right?
Mhm.
So what is the source of all things? Based on the conversation that we've been having.
God.
Okay. So then God is money. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. So if you need something, where do you go?
I think a lot of us, are approaching this the wrong way instead of going back to the source.
If God is money and God is the source of all things, then why would God not be the source of money? But see, here's the issue. We don't see God as the source of all money because we've allowed somebody to convince us that money is evil in some kind of way. Because we see all the negative and adverse things that money is being used for. But there's endless number of beneficial things that money is also used for. But for some reason, we consider money not to be such a righteous thing. So we have a tendency to separate ourselves from money, although we're conscious of it every day of our existence for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if God is the source of this money, because God is money, then why would you not go to the source and ask the source to guide you and direct you how to increase the experience of money in your life? Think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. If you want money, most people have been struggling to increase money all their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you continue to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you did, you would have done it already. So there's lack of manifestation of an increased and abundant amount of money. The lack manifested in your life manifests that we don't be doing, right? We've agreed that God is all that there is. We've also identified money as a spiritual energy. And God is the source of money, the essence of money. God is money, like God is everything else. So why not go to God and ask him how to show you and guide you to create? That's how simple it is. But because we're so addicted to struggle and we're addicted to taking advice from people's opinion and following courses and seminars and books. And I'm not saying none of those things have value, but they're not going to give you the fullness of how to experience unlimited money because the infinite has ways we know not of. All the ways that we're trying to get money, all those ways are constructed. Those are systematic ways. The system has already been set. And only those that have already been born in wealth or the very few that find some kind of way to matriculate through the system really become infinitely wealthy. Many of the people that you think of wealthy are slaves. You don't think they're slaves threading their money because they're not deriving their money from the infinite. They're deriving their money from the ways of man. Man is God power, but is a limited version. When I say man, what I'm saying is man in this sense is a limited version of God power because we're operating from a limited perspective. When you turn to the infinite, when you come to the knowledge of who you are and turn to the infinite, then you are exposed and come into an association with a universal awareness that is beyond human perception. It's beyond your systems. It's beyond your ideas. It's beyond your cultures. But right now, having that conversation with most people, it's difficult to perceive that because your mind, your emotions, your psychological makeup is not tuned to that frequency. We're tuned on this frequency or this level, and there's a higher frequency. And so when you turn to the infinite, you are automatically, systematically, spontaneously, you're brought up to a higher level of perception. You basically go to the mountaintop. But in this particular state of awareness, I would say in the valley. There's light in the valley, but it's not ultimate light. Even in darkness, there's light. That's why you can go to the bottom of the ocean where there's no light and there's life. So life exists in the absence of light, but it's not ultimate light. What we want is a higher light. And in order to experience and evolve to a higher state of existence, we must acknowledge the infinite, not God. I'm gonna be very clear, not God, but the infinite. Why? Because the infinite is beyond God.